Good morning from the vineyard, where we are blessed with the opportunity to witness the miracle of changing water into wine. In slow motion, we're here. It takes about 8 or 9 months for that process. Currently, we're in a stage called veraison, where the grapes are changing color. They're getting ripe, they're building sugar, and they're 3 or 4 weeks probably away from harvest. It's been a difficult year, a challenging year for all of us, and also in the vineyard. We don't have much of a problem with social distancing out here, but we've had the opportunity to survive an earthquake and the 17-year cicada, but 2 frosts in May really affected our crop, our vines. Only about 40% or so of our vines have reached this, or grapes have reached this stage. But we're fortunate. Some of our neighbors lost their entire crop, and these vines take just as much work with no crop as they do with crop. So it's been a tough year. Working out here, we're reminded of the many biblical references to vineyards and vines and wine, and the one that really has weighed on my mind this year most is Jesus speaking to his disciples at the Last Supper, as recorded in Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 1 through 8. Jesus says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned for greater fruitfulness by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful apart from me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me, and I in them, will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who parts from me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you stay joined to me, and my words remain in you, you may ask any request you like, and it will be granted. My true disciples produce much fruit. This brings great glory to my Father." Well, certainly the disciples were facing a challenging time, and that reminds me of the early Moravians about 300 years ago were facing challenges as they had moved onto the estate of Count Zinzendorf in Saxony, Germany. And things were not going well for them, and at the time, Count Zinzendorf wrote a hymn for them, and it's a hymn that we continue to sing in the Moravian Church fairly frequently. Rather than try to sing it here, the 3rd verse of this hymn is written in the form of a prayer, and I propose to read it as such. "Grant, Lord, that with thy direction to love each other we comply, aiming with unfeigned affection thy love to exemplify. Let our mutual love be glowing, thus the world will plainly see that we, as on one stem growing, living branches are in thee." Count Zinzendorf took inspiration from the John 15, and the way it occurs to me that New Beginnings is testimony to the fruit produced by those Moravians 300 years ago. And we can rise to this new challenge and produce our own new fruit. Well, from the Vineyard, we just want to say that we love you all.
We miss you, and we hope to be together again in the not too distant future. Until then, we will keep all of you in our thoughts and prayers. Love you.